Hello everyone and welcome back to my favourite room in the house. Before I start this video, I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel, liked my videos or left a comment. Your participation has inspired me to keep making more videos, and I'm coming to the end of my series on gijoes of different colours, so I'll have to come up with something else to do. But today I wanted to cover a colour that is used for both Cobra and G.I. Joe figures throughout the A Real American Hero line of 1982 to 1994, and that's brown. Now I have to warn you, putting this list together was tricky because, as you're about to see, brown wasn't really used throughout the line as an overall predominant colour. Most of these figures use splashes of brown with splashes of other colours, so some of my selections might be a little bit contentious. But here we go. Here are my top 10 favourite G.I. Joe figures in my collection that are the colour brown. The first figure on my top 10 list of favourite G.I. Joe figures that are the colour brown was probably the easiest choice. This figure introduced brown to the line in the second year of A Real American Hero, and that's Major Blood from 1983. I love Major Blood because of his unique sculpt. He's a Cobra mercenary, so whilst his uniform looks similar to a Cobra trooper, the brown and black colour scheme differentiates him beautifully from the rank and file of Cobra. His robotic arm is also an awesome addition, and the fact that the character hails from my home patch in Australia is really cool too. That's 1983 Major Blood. The next figure on this list, as I mentioned before, is one of those figures whose outfit isn't completely brown but uses plenty of brown elements, and that's 1985 Alpine. The main reason I've selected Alpine is that his included accessories allowed children in the 1980s to use their imagination and get really adventurous with G.I. Joe. I didn't have him as a kid, but I can certainly picture Alpine scaling rock walls and mountains in the backyard. Alpine also plays a regular role in the Sunbow cartoons, and that's a huge reason why Alpine was one of the first figures I hunted down when I began to collect G.I. Joes again. That's 1985 Alpine. Next up, I have two figures from 1987 that are much maligned in collector circles. These guys are both members of Cobra, and I love them purely for the fact that they are unique. And they are none other than 1987 Crystal Ball and 1987 Raptor. Crystal Ball here is a Cobra hypnotist, and his sculpt and lenticular shield certainly imply that he's magical and mysterious. Legend has it, the renowned horror author Stephen King wrote his file card, and it's certainly worth a read. Raptor, on the other hand, is another oddball character from the A-Ra line. He's a tax accountant who has taken a liking to falconry and hence gets around in a crazy outfit and headdress. That's 1987 Crystal Ball and 1987 Raptor. The next figure on my top 10 list of favourite G.I. Joe figures from my collection that are the colour brown is 1988 Budo. This guy looks really cool, both in terms of his sculpt and his included accessories, but more than that, I really just wanted an opportunity to read a haiku in a YouTube video, and this one comes straight from Budo's file card. The great sword sheathed glitters brightly in the dark, unseen and at rest. The next brown figure to make the list is a 1988 repaint of a fan favourite, and that's version 3 of Sergeant Slaughter. This version of Sergeant Slaughter was packaged with the Warthog AIFV, which is a popular vehicle with collectors, but the figure itself takes the first and second versions of Sergeant Slaughter to another level, thanks largely to his removable hat, which is just a beautiful touch. So there he is, 1988 Sergeant Slaughter. My next selection makes the top 10 purely for sentimental reasons, and that's 1990 Salvo. After Dialtone and Frag Viper, Salvo was the third figure my parents bought for me when I was a kid, and he captured my imagination from the moment I unwrapped him on my 9th birthday. He was supplied with some incredible accessories, and the slogan on his chest makes it clear that he's ready to take on the might of Cobra without flinching. Those ammunition belts around his legs are also pretty cool. That's 1990 Salvo. The next figure on my list of favourite brown figures is a character who arguably should have been included with the Sky Patrol subset, but he wasn't, and that is of course 1990 Freeall. This figure is special to me because shortly after I began collecting, I met a fellow collector in my hometown, and he insisted that I accept his spare Freeall as a gift. As time goes on, I've grown to appreciate Freeall and have become firm friends with the collector who gifted him to me. Freeall will always be a reminder to me that people who love gijoe can form a great community. That's 1990 Freeall. My second last selection is another repaint, and it's the 1990 Sonic Vitus version of the Viper. The original Viper, released in 1986, is certainly one of the all-time greats, and you'd think that repainting him with brown, gold, and orange would never work, but for some reason it just does. This version is just as highly sought after as the original, and I love him. It's the 1990 Viper. The final figure on my list is one that I picked up very recently. He's 1991 Red Star. This guy, with his removable cap and various accessories, is difficult to find complete, and he's often found with a broken crutch. So when this example came up for auction in a Facebook group in Australia, I was only too happy to get into a bidding war and fork out some good money to get him into my collection. For me, the blue and white stripes of the undershirt, which the Russian military still wear to this day, is a really nice touch. That's 1991 Red Star. So, there you have it. The top 10 figures in my collection that are the colour brown. Are any of these your favourites, or did I leave your favourite out? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. You could also like and subscribe to my channel if that's your thing. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.